hello everyone. Welcome to the Keepers Club podcast. This podcast is hosted by Keepers Club, a club that aims to keep young people like us away from negative activities such as smoking and drinking, doing drugs, or to overall, we really help and guide, uplift young adults like us who are tuning in, especially those who might be going through depression, loneliness, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. We have the privilege to have guests that are willing to join this week's recording on to share their experiences on how to stay healthy, happy, and motivated. Because at the end of the day, that's really the goal of the club, for keepers to share with others as one were to do with their own brother or sister. And just like the club's slogan, I am my brother's keeper, we will do whatever it takes to share the love that we experience individually and as a group. And we love to thank, of course, the founding president of Keepers Club, who is none other than Apollo Kibaloy, for this opportunity to be a part of this Keepers Club podcast. So, without further ado, let us say hi, greet, and introduce all of the keepers that have joined this podcast today on podcast episode 17. So, how are you there? Hi, all the keepers there, and let us show love to everyone. So, how you there, Keeper Gal, Keeper Shirley, Shirley, Keeper Kendra, Keeper Prince, Keeper Ati Princess, Keeper Kate, Keeper Bara, woo, Keeper Valeria, Sai, Eunice, woo. So, all right. So how's everyone's day? We love to hear you. Maybe kind of get warmed up. But anyone want to share how their day was? Anything, you do anything memorable, worth sharing?
Like,
Yeah, how are you, Kendra? Nice seeing you, Ate Kendra.
I sprained my back this weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. That's
Yeah,
not
that was bad. I
Hey,
hurt
but
it so bad. When I feel better now, doesn't
there
hurt.
you go. Go Keeper Kendra. At least you're here in one place. So you even joined the podcast. I like all the keepers here. You guys could have done anything, but you guys chose to join. So lots of love from the Keepers Club podcast. And alrighty, so let us begin. Alright, sharing this. So it's nice seeing you all, by the way. All right. How about you, Keeper Bara, really quick? How's your day, Keeper Bara?
Was studying math. Ate some yogurt. It's going pretty well, but I'm also glad to be here
You
and
go.
see you and see everybody else. So
Alrighty, so I'm glad your memory is cool too, Bara. And let us do this. So let's move on with our presentation. Let us share this one. So hopefully you can hear the music as well. Would any kind keeper tell me what they see on the screen? Anyone? Can anyone see the screen?
Yeah. I see. This is the Keepers Club podcast, episode 17.
Is that Simon? Thank you, Keeper Simon. What else? What else do you see? You see any like movement or animation?
Yeah, the animation is going.
Yeah, you're right. Woo! All right. Thank you, Keeper Simon. All right, let's move on. So once again, Keepers Club podcast episode 17. So for our introduction, once again, we are the Keepers Club podcast, and we are a podcast to once again help encourage, guide, and uplift the youth. We do our podcast through Zoom, as you can see, as well as on YouTube. We really post our full episodes. That's where you can see all of your beautiful faces. And speaking of beautiful faces as well, you can see it where we take our group photos on Facebook. We take it and post our full episodes on YouTube and post our group photos on Facebook. And we do this every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. Another way to think about it is also 4 p.m. California time. However floats your boat. And we do this through gathering, bonding, and sharing with keepers all over the US. So, I'd like to ask a couple of keepers as well. But you can say that truly this podcast has been very memorable. It's also very, um, it's been also very something to cherish too, because it really is a privilege to have this podcast to really see and, um, meet other keepers as well. And to really, to share our experiences, and especially it really is, once again, a privilege, but it is so humbling, right? Keyword humbling. All right. But as you can see, all these are some of our best episodes. A lot of awesome keepers, and we love to open the floor to anyone else who would like to share their experience on how the Keepers Club podcast has been treating you. So, any takers would like to share really quick on the things that you like about the podcast, anything that you hate, anything that you, um, ideally something that's been treating you well so far.
Can I go?
Yeah, go Gab.
I say this literally every time, but it's always a great experience here in the podcast, learning something new, getting to socialize with people. And I'd say this group of people or in the Keepers Club podcast is really different compared to my friends outside because, here it's so positive and it feels like almost like close friends or like a warm friend group that doesn't really judge or doesn't really talk negative, and you can always feel the positivity when you're in the podcast. So that's my experience so far.
Wow, thank you, Keeper Gab. Thank you for sharing. And even if you say it every time, we always appreciate it. So thank you for speaking up. How about any other keepers, especially if you're showing your camera? We love to hear your take, whether it being long or short. Um, yeah, goalkeeper Sherlin.
Like joining this podcast because it brings me a lot of money, and I can get how the young people struggle or also in their lives. It gives me a lot.
No, woo, goalkeeper Sherlin. And for one thing, it's really, really nice hearing you. And thank you for sharing. You're right, seeing all the other young people, whether they're as young as, some of the keepers, they're like 10, and some of the keepers here are like, I don't know, 20s, 30s, or are really, they look young, but realistically they're a little older. But just know that we're all welcome, right? We don't care about your religion, don't care about your color, your race, but I too, it really is a privilege to be here. So, anyone else, by the way, would you like to share?
I would like to say something.
Yeah,
The
sure.
idea of the podcast, because these days we're surrounded by many negativities. There's drugs. If you live in like ghetto area, there's lots of like you're influenced by gangs, gang violence. That's what I see in the school as well, because sometimes there's people who try to, act like gangs because they see it's they if they see that if they join these gangs, they will have this sense of pride, but this is like negative pride, because in today's society, especially those who are, like not in a good place, they grow up in like a very bad environment where there's lots of negativity. So this podcast, especially those who are watching the podcast, they could um, relate and connect to this podcast, the issues we have as teenagers, as young people that we face, loneliness, peer pressure, drugs, violence, all these things. we are surrounded by this negative atmosphere. But this podcast um, gives a more positive vibe, a positive atmosphere, and and it shows an example and also help us connect with the problems that we all face. The connectivity, and also to socialize more. That's all I would like to say.
Wow, thank you, Keeper Simon. My um someone I really cherish as well, like a singing partner, you can say, right? Um, or
Thank
like
you.
singer, right next to me. But thank you, Simon. And then for sharing, nice seeing you as well. Also, really quick, hello there to Keeper Hannah, I believe, Keeper Hannah, or was that Keeper Eunice? But also, can we also welcome Keeper Zedric? Is there a Keeper Zedric? I just checked the chat. So yeah, how are you there, Keeper Zedric? Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, and thank you for your understanding. But yes, late greeting. But how are you there, Keeper Zedric? We'd love to see you. But if not, feel free to chat in the chat box. But we just want to welcome you and greet you formally. So love not only from here in the Keepers Club Chicago, but from the Keepers Club podcast. So go Keeper Zedric, right? Keeper Zedric. Thank you so much for joining. Woo! All right. And also, just now, right, Keeper Camille? Oh, welcome, by the way. Thank you for joining. I just don't remember the name, so I could just assume it's like first time, right? Alrighty. So, just continue. Anyone else want to share their Keepers Club podcast experience so far? We'll probably just save it for anyone? No? All right, we'll save it for.
Can I say
Yeah,
can
go
I say
Tone.
something?
Go Tone.
Um, I just want to add on because it's not just one first, but also my friends that I invited. They and even me too. I learned a lot of new things on how to handle basic problems with my school, with my friends, with my family. Just getting another insight of the problem. And I really thank Keepers Club because these really are the lessons that are not. So it's really like the lessons are different every week, but for the lessons, it's kind of like a once in a lifetime opportunity. But there's YouTube and it's recorded, so yeah, you can just really learn a lot from First Club, especially from each other because we speak from experience, right? And without experience, then what do you have to share? So we can find another set of eyes, set of mindset that can help you solve a problem. So thank you, Keepers Club and founding president.
Wow, thank you, Ton, for sharing. And even while you're driving, apparently, just be safe. But thank you, Keeper Ton, and good luck. Especially, it wouldn't be possible without Keepers Club. So, alrighty, let's move on. Alright, so we're here. And actually, let us do this. Much for your patience and understanding. Alrighty, so that was a sneak peek, you can say, right? So, once again, our experience, and um, to also get a feel, atmosphere of all the keepers that have joined. Not only those that have just spoke, but also the keepers that have, took time out of the day to check out this podcast, right? So, some icebreakers. This one first is called Chatterbox. I'll say all of them actually. Chatterbox, Would You Rather, and the third one being is Golden Buzzer, right? So, Chatterbox. I'll have to stop sharing the screen for this one. All right, but it's gonna be something like this. Also, hi Keeper Kama, right? I don't know if I properly said hi, or all of us, right? But goalkeeper Kama, and how are you there? Keeper Kama, nice hoodie.
Hi.
Alrighty. Yeah, how are you there? Keeper Kama from is it Nashville, right?
Yeah.
Welcome, Kama L. Kama L is from Nashville.
Wow, go Nashville. Hey, so nice seeing you. Be safe and
Thanks.
welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, cheers. Oh, alrighty. So this one requires the chat box. So chat box meaning the Zoom one, right? And it'll be like this. Um, it's like this. Something as easy as this. My day is going because I got. So all participate as well, right? But we also take this opportunity to kind of take a deep breath and to also show some love to all the keepers that have not only tuned in to this podcast, but who are watching our pre-recorded episode in the future. So we hope you've been healthy, hope you've been well, and hope you've been strong as well. You know, physically, mentally, spiritually. And we want to also just greet you, you know, from you there in your respective Keepers Club, and lots of love from the Keepers Club podcast. Right. So, okay, no one, I'll do one though. Every group photo, every group photo, by the way, guys, like you saw the experience. I can't help but being like, look at everyone's face, like they're showing, they joined. Everyone looks so nice too. So lots of love, always everyone, and it's nice seeing you as well, joining here. So, um, regards also to all the keepers, especially if you're in the US, we invite you to join. Well, why not? And also, if you're not in the US, maybe you're in the Keepers Club there in Malaysia, the Philippines, in Africa, in Canada, right? So lots of love. We encourage you to join your Keepers Club as well, and you know, go join your guys' podcast as well. But go Keeper Bar as well, doing great because glad math and eating was treating you well. Keeper Bars. And also Keeper Sherlin's going blessed because you got to join the podcast. Wow. Likewise. Good luck. Good luck, ate. Alrighty. So how about this one? Um, hmm, I'll wait. How about this one? A way we can get rid of our pride is. This is another question we have because it will it will relate to our topic in this podcast episode, right? So a way we can get rid of our pride is, and feel free also to share your guys' thoughts in our official discussion later. But go keeper. Hi also regards to keeper Sean. Nice seeing you, keeper Sean. Go keeper Sean. All right, and good luck also, keeper Simon, learning how to stay humble and kind. Sounds like a song even, right? Also, keeper Bella, a way we could get rid of pride is by accepting correction. Um, all man, all these awesome keepers, right? Being humble, admitting mistakes, being willing to share, not to be boastful, taking corrections easily. Hi, keeper Calvin. Oh, um, yeah. So you're very right, and make sure keep that in your mindset for our discussion later, and also as we continue to not only say but to walk the walk in what we teach. Right? I have to do so as well. There's always room for correction, for improvement too. Alrighty. And I think last one. Um, when did I have? It is this. Oh, this one, this one. A cute. That's all. Yeah, we don't do this so much. We don't do this as often. But we just also have this platform not only to share, to have a podcast, and to really just share our thoughts. Because sometimes people don't have friends or even family or someone to really share their thoughts to get their voice out there, right? But not only are you welcome to be not only our friend, but even like a brother or sister. We may not be related by blood physically, but we can be like we can be just like your brother and sister. We can be that open arm, that surrounding, that good vibe environment to welcome you, right? Just like all of us, actually, all of us were invited to Keepers Club, so this is our part. This is our time to really give back, right? And while keeper Ati Princess, having a teachable heart, just drive safe for us also, Ate. But good luck, right? Having teachable heart. Oh, and by the way, per the chat, uh, Simon, nice answer. For all the keepers who are watching, they don't see the chat box, right? Keeper Bells, compliments Keeper Valeria, the way she sings. You sing Keeper Valeria? You might have like you might deserve like a golden buzzer, right? So we love to hear you sing one time.
No,
And also,
no, I'm good.
oh, we all have a talent though. We love to, especially also this platform to show off your gifts, show off your talent, show off that God-given passions, right? But I wish I could go crazy. Nice beanie bars. Nice bass voice. And also, right, especially if you haven't had time to make someone laugh, to compliment someone, right? To really just, take a couple seconds out of your day to really acknowledge someone, right? So, oh, nice. Right. And also, for all the keepers joining, good luck out there. Oh, Keeper Bara specifically. Go Keeper Bara. One of our OG Bara. Our OG, one of the, like, I don't know, right, Bara? Even making the podcast. So recording the podcast. All right. Thanks, boys. I think my mom got it for me. Alrighty. So how about this one? Let's move on to our next one. I believe it is Would You Rather, right? Double check. It is, yeah. All right. So how about this one? It's gonna be simple as this: option one or option two. So, for example, would you rather be one of the world's leading experts in a single field, or the most well-rounded and versatile person in the world? So, leading expert in a single field or most well-rounded and versatile person. Ready? So as simple as one or two. Oh yeah, feel free to in the chat box, or we'd love to see it too. All right, one, two, one, two. I think two. Actually, it can be used in all sorts of things, right? Two, two. All right, how about this one? Nice one, by the way. How about this? Would you rather be the richest person in the world or the smartest person in the world? Oh, okay. You really mean it. Two, one. How about this? We'll play the music too. I don't even know as well. Hmm. Wait, that's a hard one though. I think I just agree with you guys. I think two or one. We're more interested in your guys's, right? Alrighty. Thank you for participating, by the way. How about this one? Would you rather have to spend 20 the next 20 years as a student, or spend the next 20 years as an employee? 20 years as a student or 20 years as an employee? And go. One, two, or one on one. Yeah, right. Because like we're always a student, right? There's always room for improvement. And then, okay, good luck. I'm glad everyone's open to using the chat box. All right, how about I think last one. Hmm. Would you rather live to 100 years old or to 500 years old? So 100 or 500. And ready, go. I don't even know myself. Actually, these questions, we looked it up. It's like really deep would you rather questions.
I would like to say something.
1,000 years. Oh,
Uh,
sorry.
oh, sorry. I would like to say something about the would you rather be 100 years old or 500 years old? Because if you want to be 500 years old, the good thing about it is, well, you live up to being 500 years old. But the thing is, let's say you're the only person that lives to be 500 years old, and then like the average lifespan of a human being is 75 years. So like if you make friends in like 500 years, which is 5 centuries, you just get to see your friends, uh like they pass away, and then you're the only one that's like outliving them, which is kind of sad. So that's the downside. But living 500 years old, you still get to see the world as it goes by 500 years.
Wow, thank you, Keeper Simon. No, yeah, good luck. Thank you for your insight, Keeper Simon. Woo. All right. I personally I don't even know either. But thank you for, once again sharing. And go keepers living 100 or 500 or 1,000 years old even. You never know. All right. All right. And the last one, I'll show this really quick. Last one is golden buzzer. So, anyone have a talent they would like to share? Because we all have passions, and while people are getting ready, I'm going to sing too. But it's more about you guys. We want to hear you guys. And for anyone volunteers, hopefully, right now the keepers, just know.
Uh,
Oh, wait, just really quick. Even talents, right? Sometimes it's not about singing or dancing, guitar, piano, or ukulele. A lot of times, we some talents that are underrated is like mathematics, like mental math. Maybe you know the formulas off the top of your head. How about storytelling or, comedy, poetry, right? Even rappers, they're very smart in like poetry, for example. How about creative in write or art? Maybe you want to share something. Maybe you want to share something you wrote, something that that you were really like moved in writing, or your artwork. Right? There's also a lot of graphic designers, right? But at the same time, we'll share because why not? We have this platform to share, our voices to be heard, and to show love to another keeper, pass on our knowledge, share our knowledge that we've learned, and even to share the gifts that we have, you can say. Right. So with that being said, would any keeper like to have the floor to perform?
I can go.
Go, Gab. We love to see you also. Go,
Okay,
Miss
so I'm just gonna play this little piece that I know. All right. it for me.
Give it up to Gal. Woo! Awesome, keeper Gal. Alrighty, so awesome. Go Gal. Thank you for sharing your guitar gift always. All right, so go Kuya, go Bunso. How about anyone else? Would you like to show off your gifts, show off your passion, your talent?
Uh, I I wouldn't say I'm the best in singing, but I do want to sing because I do have to leave. I think Gabriel said sing
Yeah,
a
you're
while
right.
back.
It's already 49, but go, Bara.
Hmm.
Are you gonna sing?
Yeah, I'm gonna put like a instrument
Wow.
here.
Yeah, go for it. For sure. Wait, do you need a moment to get ready? Or
Yeah, one
ready to go?
second.
All good, no rush by the way.
Is it
Go
fine if
keep
I
up.
put like an instrumental?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Keeper Bara. Remember we're singing
Hey,
too? Right.
hopefully I'll impress you guys, but like give me a second.
Mm. Yeah, much love, guys, by the way, because we've had feedback about like the podcast being a little too fast. So we're trying to like take it easy also. But let's give it up for Bara. Go Bara.
Can you guys hear this?
Yes, sir. Oh,
Alright.
from the beginning, Baras. Go Bara.
Okay, it's not synced, but it's okay. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can help all men in love with you. Yeah. Okay, sorry guys. This is it. This is it. I don't.
No, that was that was awesome, Bara. All right, let's give it up for Bara. Woo!
Thank you
Hey,
guys.
Bara, that was
I'll be
awesome. At first, I
practicing more.
was.
Yeah. All right. I'll impress. But on that note, thank you guys.
You have a
I'm
great
gonna
voice.
have to leave.
Yeah, no, nice bass too, Bara. But wait, if anything too, Bara, if you want to like perform another one, like, let us know, and then just know we have every week. So hope to see you every week, Bara. Right?
Yeah. Yep. And have a good one, everyone. Because I do have to leave. I have to go somewhere. But hope you'll be able to talk with each other, and hopefully it'll be a great time. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Goalkeeper Bara. Yeah, no, thank you for sharing, and go Bara's singing gift. Right? All right.
Appreciate it.
Who's next,
Come
by
on,
the
guys.
way? You have a good one.
Bye.
How about anyone else? Any other keeper you like to share? Even too, keeper Kama or keeper Valeria. If you like to share your talents before we move on to our discussion.
I mean, I guess I can sing.
Oh yeah,
Goalkeeper Valeria.
Wow.
this is like the most keepers I've ever has shared.
Great.
So we'd love to see you too, keeper Valeria. But if not, it's so awesome you're willing to share. So go keeper Valeria.
Nunca es suficiente para mí, porque siempre quiero más de ti. Mi corazón estalla por tu amor, que no lo ves. Yo nunca he estado así, acostumbrado estando a todo el amor que no lo ves. Yo nunca he estado así. Si de casualidad me ves llorando un poco es porque yo te quiero a ti. Y tú te vas jugando a enamorar. Todas las ilusiones para verte no se dejan, para verme yo llorar. Dentro de mis recuerdos por haberme hecho llorar. That's it. I'm good.
Woo! Goalkeeper Valeria, that was amazing.
Wow.
Oh, Keeper Valeria. Yeah, indeed, amazing. But that was even like another language, right? And you're, just like boom, you're just like I'm down to sing. So no, that was awesome. You truly have a gift, and thank you for sharing it with us. Especially as a new keeper. So, goalkeeper Valeria, always sing your heart out, and thank you for sharing, blessing our corazones, con muy bueno, cantando. So, muy bien. And gracias, keeper Valeria. Alrighty, so that's awesome. Wow. All right. Who's next right away? Would you like to share before we move on? Anyone? Even a cappella too. Wow. Going once. Going twice. Me. All right.
Go, Kuya Calvin.
Can you hear it, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hopefully the sound is good enough. And the song too. All right. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountain, growing like a breeze. Country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. Mountain mama, take me home, country road.
You get the gold buzzer.
Amazing.
Wow.
Alrighty.
Good job. I like the whistling part. Okay, people are.
Alright,
I
thank
think
you.
Oh, you
Simon
want me
should
to
go.
request to sing? A lot of people are requesting me to sing.
Go, Simon.
You want me to
Alright, we
sing a
got
song?
we got the last but not least, golden buzzer. Go, Simon.
Okay.
Impossible dream, impossible dream.
Possible Dream?
Impossible dream.
You want a different song? No?
One day.
Go, Simon. So we can move on.
You want One Day or
No rush, but
Impossible Dream?
I too want to hear you sing.
One Day or Impossible Dream?
One
Choose.
day.
One Day?
Yeah, I don't think we
Okay.
ever heard you.
By Wish 100. Sometimes I lay under the moon and I thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, and I know someday we'll all turn around because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more wars and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, cause we all lose when they feed on souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving though the waters stay raging. In this maze, you can lose your way, your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it face you, no way, no way. Oh, sometimes in my tears I drown, but never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, and I know someday we'll all turn around because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more wars and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. One day this all will change. People to say, stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free. I'm proud to hear under the same song, sing songs of freedom like fire. Oh, sometimes in tears I drown, but never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, and I know someday we'll all turn around because one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Brought to you by Wish 100.
Wow, that was amazing.
Wow.
It's over. He won.
Oh God, he did.
Actually,
Go buzzer.
hey,
Say yes.
it's so awesome, Simon. Wow, you had the whole karaoke ready too. So goalkeeper Simon. All right.
Thank you.
Let's let's move on. But actually, the original plan was to just say everyone has a golden buzzer because everyone was awesome. Um, wait, but actually, I feel like the golden buzzer belongs to keeper Valeria. So let's show some love to keeper Valeria.
Woo! Congratulations!
It's actually the first time we've done it, but I think like who am I to even say? But just given like the circumstance, especially you're so new and like you're new to the podcast and you're willing to sing even another language, goalkeeper Valeria, right? Also regards to keeper Gab, keeper Simon, keeper Bara is not here, but goalkeepers always sharing your gift no matter what, right? So much love. Hey Simon, that was awesome by the way. Go Simon.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so we were showing the disclaimer during his awesome performance, right? Sounded almost like a radio, right? But once again, our disclaimer: a rated everyone podcast. Kindly avoid cursing, sharing anything traumatic. Please prevent from saying anything that goes against our slogan. I am my brother's keeper. So we hope this is okay with everyone. And thumbs up, everyone. Thumbs up. All good. Right, so nice thumbs, and let's move on. So, um, I don't know if anyone could tell, judging by our program so far, but being humble is our podcast topic for this episode 17 Keepers Club podcast. All right. So I'm also going to share um, the audio. So there's some background music, but also some definitions of being humble is here. So having or showing a modest or lowest estimate of one's importance, and also not arrogant or having an assertive personality. Definition of being humble, right? Also, let's move on. So some things about what is being humble, right? So essentially, humbleness is what keeps you from bragging about anything, right? And because true humbleness is characterized by humility. They're not necessarily the same thing, judging by our research. But truly, being humble is a certain quietness, and reserve. Also, they show greater generosity, helpfulness, and gratitude, right? And overall, being humble helps us to really have a sense of sympathy and empathy to really put ourselves in the shoes of others, right? Because really, it's really recognizing that the world doesn't revolve around one person, around ourselves, right? But truly, that other people are living too. They have feelings, and truly, there's a world of the people around us, right? So let me know. I could copy and paste this, post it in the chat, or go back to it. But for our episode 17 question, even though it's a good 7 p.m. here, episode 17 question. Our question is, what does being humble mean to you? Do you believe that there should be a limit to being humble? Why is it important for keepers all over the world to stay humble in everything we do? Right. So you guys can hear me, by the way. This is my internet is kind of out of whack. You guys can hear me, by the way. Test. Okay, thanks so much. Double checking. And so for our discussion time, just remember there are no wrong answers. Feel free to elaborate on one another's answers or to direct the conversation toward a specific topic about being humble, right? And participation is highly encouraged. Wow. So once again, I'll copy and paste this in the chat, but we would like to open the floor. All right. So once again, it's a podcast. So of course, we feel free to jump in. We love to hear you, especially if you've been in this podcast, since the start of this episode. Also, if you haven't spoken yet, we love to hear you. Share your voice. What do you believe in? Once again, is humble, as I copy and paste this, right? So once again, what does being humble mean to you? Is there any limits, and why is it important for keepers all over the world to stay humble? Right. So, is that go? We'd like to ask Keeper Gabriel. Go, Gab.
Thank you. So, in my opinion, being humble is like admitting you're not the best, or when someone, I guess you could say, kind of praises you or compliments you. Let's say if you have a talent, if you're a singer, or you're really good at something, it's like you're giving back the praise, not to yourself, but just something or someone else. Like, for example, God, like a God-given talent, you're giving glory back to God. And being humble is just, you're putting yourself below your own importance. And being humble is also a good thing because it takes away pride, and pride is also what causes in this world a lot of fights, or pride is really negative when it comes to having relationships with people, and that's what causes like a lot of breakups or bad relationships with people. So being humble is you're putting your emotions or your importance below someone else's or something.
Wow, thank you, Keeper Gab. giving gifts. So thank you for starting the discussion, Keeper Gab. All right, how about anyone else? I believe there's a hands like right here. Is a Keeper Simon? Go Simon.
Okay, being humble is learning how to accept humility, and also, because having too much pride can corrupt your inner being. You can, let's say, people who have like great power, we strive to be great leaders, but sometimes if we use that power, that pride, it corrodes our inner being. Because if you take advantage of that pride, you're always thinking, I am the best there is, that nobody can beat me. You think you're at your limit, but no, there's always a room to improve. Having too much pride, you you become boastful. You become arrogant, and sometimes those people may not know that. you know that's why having that sense of pride, there's also positive things about pride, because you know you can be also proud of yourself, but you don't have to think that, oh, I'm better than anyone else. It's just balance, because if you overuse that pride, if you have too much pride, you become arrogant. You don't listen to anybody's advices. You think you're at your limit, but no. But there's also a positive side, where, because without the because we have, what's that called, self-esteem. If we don't have that self-esteem, we're not motivated to push ourselves. you know for example, athletes, you know every single day they have to work out. They have to keep their bodies in good condition, because they have to, let's say they're on the Olympics. They have to be the best of the best. That's why there's no limits. It's limitless. There's always room to improve from your mistakes, to learn from others people's mistakes, to to learn what you did wrong and how to do it right again. Because if we have too much pride, we become arrogant. We don't, listen to anybody, and we become so self-centered. That's why we have to stay humble, because being humble, you what's that called? Because if you're because that's why we have to be pride not pride stay humble. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I don't want to make it too long, because we're also, have limited time, and I want opportunity for more people to talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Keeper Simon. No, yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. And then, of course, um, yeah, thank you so much. Right, like, thank you for sharing, because all of us keepers, right? No matter who we are, sometimes we have like a lot of pride, self-esteem, But one way of really being humble is to set our ego aside, right? To acknowledge that, right? There's sometimes people are just trying to, correct us. They want to see us to grow. They don't want to see us fail, right? So, how about you, Keeper Ton, Keeper Anthony?
I just want to add on to what Simon said, and also answer the second one. I really like when you said balance your pride, because it's not always bad, right? But it's bad when you're making it go sky high, right? And so I just want to answer the second one. If I believe that there should be a limit to being humble, I really think, I don't think that there's a limit, because being humble doesn't necessarily mean that you're proud of um, you're proud of your achievements. because not everyone can have an achievement that they can say, oh yes, I did that. But for school, for us students, if you're like being bullied and you're trying to keep yourself maintain cool, calm, collected, and not retaliate, that's also called being humble, because you're humbling yourself and being the bigger person, that you don't retaliate. And there's a lot of times where that person being bullied is, they just keep their heads down. And I think that there's no limit in being humble, because solely because you can only control your own choices. You can't control anyone's choices, right? And also, there wouldn't be a limit if you balance your pride. So you might be prideful, saying, oh, I don't want to talk back to them, or I don't want to hit them back, because I don't want them to keep on bullying me. That's humbling yourself down. But humbling yourself up is like, oh, um I got a new car and I'm able to drive and everyone else can't. Like, the balance of your pride, keeping it maintained, allows you to have that stability in your social communications with others. And yeah, just being humble really means, keeping yourself cool, calm, collected under different types of emotions and pressures, and they don't all necessarily have to be bad. You know, you know how to, I guess, know your worth, because if you're humbling yourself so far down, then that's kind of like taking advantage of yourself and making sure that people sees you like not as this one thing, but something that you want them to see, that you're nice, you're this and that, by being humble. There's also, you got to know your worth. And it might sound like I'm going towards the limit to humbleness, but you yourself can only determine your worth and um your value, and that can also be part of your humbleness. Well, that's it. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Keeper Ton. And we'd also like to ask, we'd love to see if any of the new faces would like to, really share. Like Keeper Valeria, Keeper also Keeper Vara, Keeper Zedric, right? Also, did we say hi to Keeper Kennedy? I forgot if you joined before, if this is your first time, but welcome, Keeper Kennedy. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but just double checking. So go Keeper Kennedy, and welcome to the podcast. Hope you're enjoying it so far. Wow, go Keeper Kennedy. Yeah, first time. So that's love. All right, so hope you're enjoying so far. But we love to hear you as well. Any of you. Yeah, well, so go keepers. How about anyone else? Would you like to share about the topic of our episode, which is being humble? Right. Thank you once again, Keeper Ton. Anyone else? Would you like? Oh, yeah, for sure. Is there a hand being raised? Keeper Sean, would you like to share? Go, Sean.
Yes. All right. Um, I remember when Simon was talking, I really liked the way he looked at people, because what he said, he was being humble. He wanted to, give another person a chance to share, not just him sharing all the time. Give other people a chance to share. That's being humble. It's others share their talent, and others share they think about the their personal experiences and what they have. They're trying for their best to interpret today's lesson. And Simon really wanted had a good example on being humble just at the end. And you can't be humble until you're humble to yourself. What that means is like, imagine like you see someone else have a talent, you really want to learn it, like you long to learn it, like and you always say that they are better than you, and you can't understand how to do something if you don't take what someone has and at least be motivated. If you envy someone or something, you can't take their talent like right off, and you won't feel motivated. But you must at least try first, and then you can grow on that one thing until you master it, just like them. Thank you. Thank you.
Test. Yeah. Thank you, Keeper Sean. Yeah, nice seeing you, by the way. I'm glad you're able to join Keeper Sean. All right, so yeah, thank you for sure. I'll lower your hands, and about anyone else, thank you for your insight, Keeper Sean. Anyone else? You like to jump in, elaborate, or maybe speak on what being humble means to you? Yeah, go, Keeper Sherlin.
I think humbleness meaning to me is you don't compare yourself to others.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you for joining, or thank you for answering, Keeper Sherlin. And yeah, so nice hearing you. All right, so anyone else? And just like Keeper Anthony said, you don't compare yourself to others. So, I'm willing to jump in, but once again, anyone else? Like, we love to hear you. Right, it's a podcast, and we really have this platform once again to discuss, to share. Go again, Simon. Woo, go
You
Simon.
want me to talk more? I mean, if
Well,
if it's fine to you.
yeah, I'll go after you.
Okay. So I would also like to share about Anthony. I would like to add uh more on what Anthony said earlier, be, uh, about um the bullying part of the what when he said, because you as I've seen in the schools, um uh especially when it was a few years ago. I used to see a lot of uh people get bullied, you know, by this one kid. And I observed that kid because he has, that very high pride. And he thought that he's more dominant than anybody else. And then he's bullying those people who are like down, who are like, they didn't do anything to him. And he's just walking like a giant. And he's just like um messing with people. But um um if you encounter this type of like bullying, you know because I remember one time I got bullied when I was in third grade. Uh, I didn't have the guts to stand up. I was like, you know, just keeping my head down. Uh, play it safe. But you if you were on if you were looking at my perspective, if you see, if you witness somebody bullying, because you can't always keep your head down. You can't let that person be dominant over you. That's why you have to learn how to stand up um, against your bully or whoever who is taking advantage, or who is treating you, badly. Because we can't always stay low, run away from our problems. Sometimes we have to learn to confront them. That's all I would like to say.
Thank you, Simon, for even sharing like a personal experience, right? So, goalkeeper Simon even answering twice, and so I like to go, right? So I was reminded too that really like truly being humble is something that we've learned in Keepers Club, right? And in a club where it's full of keepers that are have grew up in like broken families, right? Or have lived in poverty, or they don't have a place to sing, they don't have a place to jam out, they don't have a place to perform, or even just like some of you were mentioning that truly it's like a group of friends, or that truly not only friends, but it's like they found a family in Keepers Club, right? Whether it's through the podcast, whether it's through, of course, all the Keepers Club internationals all over the world, right? That truly being humbleness is like really like the concept of thinking like I've done I've done nothing, right? There's always room for me to do, no matter what we've done in the past. There's always things to work on. There's always things to improve, right? And being humble is essentially, it's like I always imagined it like before I found Keepers Club. It's like being confident, or not. It's like this. It's like showing off, but being humble, right? Or knowing when to show off, but just always be humble, right? And think about it. Like there's nothing to be humble about, or there's nothing to be full of pride about. There's nothing to boast of, right? If there's anyone to look to, if anything, like look at Keepers Club. We wouldn't have this podcast once again without the club. We wouldn't know one another, for example, right? And essentially too, it's you'd rather have it's just nice to be humble, right? You can really respect someone that's really willing to be like, you know what, like I'm glad I have these talents, or I'm glad I'm able to be used as an instrument, right? I think last example for me, maybe even like in this podcast, for example, right? Everyone's contributing. Uh, it doesn't matter who's hosting, right? Any of you can easily be the host, even if it takes you longer than like someone like me to learn. You guys can do it 10 times better than I could ever, if you're really if you're ever really willing, right? But see, it's not saying like, oh, I'm this, or I'm able to do this, or because of this, right? Like we really learned that we should never feel important, and if anything, right, that that platform is important, that task, that job is important, but we're not important, right? So that task, like a podcast like this, sharing love, reaching out to the keepers, gathering keepers, and sharing what you learned in Keepers Club in Keepers Club International, right? That's important, but we are not important, right? So if anything, too, I've learned that it's like I should be the one who's grateful, right? Rather than someone being like, oh, thank you, Kuya Calvin, Keeper Calvin, for being the host. No, like we don't even think about that. If anything, I'm the one who should be thanking Keepers Club International. Never would I have thought I'd be able to, just facilitate, just call on people, right? So thank you, Keepers Club International, once again. And speaking of keepers, how about any other keeper would you like to jump in, especially if you haven't said anything, or if you like to jump in again, or any other keepers?
Can I go?
Yeah, keeper Isaac.
Being
Go, Isaac.
humble is. I think being humble is being being good without showing or telling anybody.
Wow. Goalkeeper Isaac. So thank you, Keeper Isaac, for sharing. One of our youngest keepers. And maybe next week, or maybe even next week. I was hoping actually today, but maybe next week you'll meet the keepers as young as you in Chicago here. I was like, hey, there's the keeper 10 years old. Like, so I want to invite ours, but thank you, Keeper Isaac. Much love. All right, who's next, by the way?
I would also like to add
Go
to our
balls.
topic today what I feel like being humble is also accepting correction, because when you're accepting correction, like sometimes it's annoying, sometimes you feel like it hurts, it's painful. I mean, like, obviously, of course it's going to hurt when you're receiving correction or when someone's telling you something that needs to be fixed, because we're all still human, we still have our own emotions. But when you're being corrected, you're also accepting growth. When you're being corrected, it's not because they're doing it out of anger, but they're doing it because they care enough about you. They love you and they care about you to point out something that's obviously not going so good for you. And without correction, you can't really grow in life. And with correction, it's a way to humble yourself, because you're not talking back, you're not giving attitude, you're not really being so mean about it when your parents or someone older than you is giving you correction. That's all I have to say.
Awesome. Thank you, Keeper Bala. Right, and very right also. The when it comes to correction, once again, they don't want to see you fail. They don't want to see you give up. Right? It truly is love when you're being corrected. So, in that form of correction too, it's on you, it's on us, to use our choice to really be to really be offended, you can say, or to be humble, say thank you, right? So, how about anyone else? Before, unless we call on you, by the way. Anyone else, especially? Also, hi there, right, Keeper Michael. Hello, Keeper Michael.
Yeah, they call me big guy in my part.
Hi, Michael.
Hello.
Nice to
Yeah,
meet
welcome to the podcast. First time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you so much for joining. And can you repeat it really quick? How can we call you?
People call me big guy.
Keeper Big Guy.
Yeah, people call me big guy in
All
the
right, for
gym.
sure. Go Keeper Big Guy. And hope your day is going well. Love from the Keepers Club podcast. So thank you
Sweet.
so much for joining. And yeah, we hope you enjoy. We're actually like in the middle of it. Maybe even like kind of coming to a close to it actually. But we're glad you're able to take time out of your day to join. And lots of love. Go Keeper Michael.
Yeah.
All right. Who's next, by the way? Would like to jump in, talking about being humble, right? Unless we move on, but does anyone else? Any last call? Maybe even Keeper Valeria, Keeper Kennedy, or Keeper Big Guy. Would you like to jump in really quick? Maybe talk about what being humble means to you.
Can I go?
Oh, so that?
Me.
Yeah. Kindly identify yourself.
Keeper Angelo.
Yeah. Go AC. You make our thumbnails. Go AC.
Yeah. So, so I would just like to answer the first question first, and then it's just like a short answer. So what does being humble mean to you? Well, I think that being humble in my own thoughts is like, you know, if I was given like a lot of talents and get praises from it, um, I don't really acknowledge it as like for me, because like it wasn't how do I say this? Um, it was like uh I don't acknowledge it as it really comes from me, but from I acknowledge it for the one who gave it to me, and yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you, Keeper AC. Nice picture, by the way. Like pushing a boulder up the mountain. All right. So, all right. Thank you so much. All right. Before it gets too late, anyone else? Final words, or before we get to our official closing? But anyone else? This is your opportunity to shine, to share, to go keepers from the podcast. Talking about being humble. Also, thank you, Keeper Princess, for chatting. Also, just to be humble is always to remember that God is bigger, smarter, and more. He is the greatest. Wow, and amen, amen, ate. Right? So, how about being humble toward yeah, right. It's really like a choice. Being humble and really acknowledging the people around you. Maybe it could be your friends, family. It could be the Almighty. Could be the man upstairs. All right. How about final thoughts? Anyone? All right. I think final thoughts from me. Right. It's just some. It really is also. It's a little different, but from humility. But think about it. At first, I thought it's talking about humility, like really just acknowledging, the human presence, right? Common sense, like being kind, really, um, and also even like in the talent show, right? We're not trying to like contradict the idea of being humble, but it's essentially right knowing when to knowing when to show off. You can say like your gifts, the gifts that God gave you, and at the same time too, we should also be very careful and being humble, right? Well, not being humble but encouraging, right? Because the more you're encouraged, the more your head can get big, or the more your mindset can be like, wow, like I'm important, or I'll have a cocky, a really like a cocky mentality that like I'm the best or something. So even a keeper like me, I remember back in the day before Keepers Club, I really just needed someone to be like, you know what, Calvin, good job, like you look at everything you're doing, but no, I really think Keepers Club, that I'm able to learn stuff like this, that everything's we really do it to give back, right? So
Yeah.
oh yeah, goalkeeper, big guy.
I just wanna go off topic. I just wanna go off topic real quick. I just want people to admire my stop sign. Since I lived in the hurricane, right, that recently hit Florida.
Yeah.
And I live in Florida, and this stop sign, right? This stop sign went through my window, and now it's mine. And I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful that this stop sign just came through my window and just graced its presence in my room. Like I mean, it's like a full on stop sign. And I'm thankful I have it now.
That's awesome, goalkeeper, big guy. Thank you for sharing us your stop sign. And glad you're safe from the tornado, hurricane, you said?
Yeah.
Really quick too. This is may I ask, how did you come to know the podcast?
Some guy.
All right,
He
goalkeeper.
gave me a link that I just popped up. We were
For sure. Was he from like Texas?
I don't know, it's probably somewhere. I don't want to be disrespectful. I kind of forgot.
Okay, all good. But go keeper, big guy being invited by some guy, and thank you for once again sharing the aftermath of the tornado. So love from the keepers podcast.
I
And don't
think I know that guy.
oh word. Thank you for speaking up. I was gonna say.
Yeah,
So
I think it was juicy.
Oh, that guy?
I think so, yeah, because he's in the Florida right now.
Who?
yeah, go. Okay. Yeah, much love. So I'm glad you're safe and thank you so much for sharing. Alrighty, let's move on. So we'll have a last opportunity as well. But final thoughts, right? Once again, be confident and humble at the same time. Humility is also the quality of being humble. And something that can humility is something that can only serve to draw us closer to others, right? So, for our episode reflection, we wanted to ask, how was your Keepers Club podcast experience? What did you think about this episode? And why should keepers continue to tune in and be aware of the struggles of being a youth? That's what we really talk about. The struggles of being a youth here in this podcast is actually like our official episode one, right? Where we talked about it. And, we thought, wow, this topic is something we could really talk about in our podcast in different forms. So, would anyone like to share how the podcast treating you so far, especially if you're a newcomer? What did you think about the topic, or even things that you think we can improve on?
You know, it's great.
For sure. Feel free to elaborate, but I'm glad you think it's great. Keep a big guy.
Yeah. Even though I just joined,
Mm.
you know, it's great.
All right, thank you so much. All right, for sure. Anyone
Yeah.
else? Especially,
Can I go?
yeah, goalkeeper Isaac.
So I, so today, this lesson today, I think it was a great lesson, an amazing one, and I learned a little bit more about what the word humble means and what it is to be humble.
Wow, keeper Isaac. Thanks for always sharing keeper Isaac at the very end, and always giving positive feedback. Always keeper Isaac. So thank you, Isaac. How about anyone else? Maybe even keeper Kama, keeper Kennedy, keeper Valeria, our golden buzzer, or even any of the keepers that are showing the camera at the moments.
Can I
Go
go?
Gap.
Uh, I always answer this, or even earlier, but this, I just also want to say that this podcast always continues to inspire me in becoming a better person, or because I'm just so inspired by or amazed by all the people, like how all of us are from the age, or everyone in here is in between the age span of like you said, 10 or maybe even 30 plus or something. And I'm just so amazed like how all of us, how mature we can become in just like discussing things like these. Well, I don't know. I'm just amazed.
Yeah, likewise. Actually, keeper Gab, everyone. Even if even if like you're a lot younger than me, like we're all contributing. So it really is such a privilege, to have this podcast. So, thank you, keeper Gab. Anyone else? Final reflections? Maybe even something we can improve on. We're always striving to improve each and every episode, actually, right? And there's a lot of people behind the scenes you can say too. Like my kuya. Oh,
Hey Cal.
it's me. It's Paya.
Hey Cal. Hi guys. Sorry, off cam.
Kuya.
Yeah, I'm thankful once again. Thankful to our founding president, Pastor Apollo Sticky Boy, for this privilege to be with all of you. I'm sorry I'm off cam at the moment. I just like to share like one thought with all of you that um, in this life we should always remember that there's always um, we should be humble to um, that we can learn more, we can improve, as what was said earlier. And let us remember that the Almighty Father, that without Him we can do nothing. So let us always remember that um, we can be humble in learning new things and also humble in correction. So sometimes people correct us. Let us learn the lesson and let us use that to improve ourselves. So for all of you, keep up the good work and continue to improve yourself so that you can be the best that you can be and you can make your family proud and you can make the Almighty Father proud. So once again, keep up the good work, everyone. And we hope you all enjoy the Keepers podcast. Thank you, Cal.
Thank you, Kuya. And go Kuya Dan. They're in the Philippines. Wow. So thank you for joining,
Oh,
Kuya.
and Cal,
Kuya.
yeah, and Cal, maybe one day we would like to invite them all here. So we don't know. First, there, of course, in the USA. Maybe there might be a keepers gathering in the whole of US one day in the future, and then one day in the future also here in the Philippines. So that's it once again, Cal, and everyone. Thank you for joining.
Ipoya. And yeah, likewise. We never know, right? That will we will never really know, but we can just have faith. You can say that we'll be able to see one another, right? In person or there in the Philippines even. We never know. But we can just only have faith or even pray and to just keep going in all aspects of life, right? So thank you once again, Kuya. Always nice seeing you. I gotta send you some stuff too, like this episode. But right. And all right, and once again, any last reflections? Even if you can't have your camera, it's very nice just hearing you all. And once again, we really are striving to improve. Um, so there's always things that I'm jotting down too and really taking note of to improve next week's episode. But we would really appreciate it also from the perspective of, you know, the keepers. So anyone, any last thoughts?
Uh, question.
Yes.
This is also sound unrelated, but do you play basketball?
Me?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I just watch it, but
You
how about
watch
you?
it? Okay. All right. All right. All right. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you a question. I'm gonna give you another question.
For sure.
Right. Who will win? Right. We got Dennis Robin. Right. We got Shaq. We got Yao Ming. They're all 1v1ing each other. Who do you think is gonna, you know, win on the court?
Um,
Shaq.
Personally, I think Shaq because of his attitude. How about you, though?
Wait, question: is that offense or defense or rebounding?
I mean, it really depends, man. You're putting three guys in one court, and it's not half court, it's full court. I mean, like, okay, how about this?
I'm actually more interested in your answer though. Or did you also
I
want to
don't know.
answer Keeper Kennedy?
I feel like Dennis Robin
Mm.
would cross up Shaq. Well, I mean, Shaq's a big guy. Let's be honest. Shaq's a big guy. I feel like Dennis Robin, because Dennis Robin's energy. The dude's fast. Let's put okay. How about this? Dennis Robin in his prime, 1v1 in Shaq in his prime and Yao Ming in his prime. Let's say Yao Ming and Shaq is um, teaming against Dennis Rodman. Who do you think is going to win?
Oh. I'm not the right guy to ask, and actually, I don't think this would be like the right opportunity, to ask about like a basketball question. But I'm glad that you're so open and like comfortable to us right off the bat. Keep it big
Cal,
guy. So and
we'll
good
do our
luck by the
homework
way.
and we'll come back to you with the
Okay.
answer in the next podcast.
Okay.
You're right. Yeah,
Because some
let us
people
know
don't
too
know the players. Yeah.
if
be
you wanted
waiting.
us to talk
Yeah,
about
it's
a
like old
specific
school.
topic.
Next time. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Keeper. Keeper Dan, but Keeper Big Guy. Thanks so much, right? We never talked about basketball before. But before we officially end, once again, shout out to all of the new faces. We'd like to hear shout outs from other keepers also, because this is actually something that we experienced. Like at the very end, like even in Keepers Club Chicago, we have there's other clubs in Keepers Club Chicago. There's like, there's dance club, there's Latin club, there's science club, math club, and we have the opportunity. It's like, what, shout out. All right, everyone show some love. Right? Shout out to who you wanna to thank. Well, like for example, we wanna thank keeper um all the keepers tuning into this episode, returning keepers, Keepers Club, and the Keepers Club founding president of Keepers Club International, who is none other than Apollo Kibaloy, Pastor Apollo C. Kibaloy. But also once again, we'd like to thank um and show some love to Keeper Kennedy, Keeper Zedric, Keeper Valeria, Keeper Kama, and Keeper Big Guy. Right? So let's all offer a hand clap off or round of applause, everyone. Right? And thank you so much for joining. Please let us know what you thought of it, and we invite you also next week as well. So, um, much love. Thank you so much for joining. All right, and any shout out portions? Would anyone want to give a shout out? No one? No? Ooh. All right. Hopefully next time. It's really opportunity to give some love. But once again, thank you for the keepers that join. Go keeper big guy. Really, answering a lot. Keeper Isaac jumping in too. Keeper Kuya Dan, even though, even if you have another priority. Nice seeing you also, keeper Hannah. And thank you for joining as well. Be safe. Alrighty, let's see what else is. So, go keepers from the Keepers Club podcast, and also let's not end before we see everyone's beautiful faces. So, as you can see, all the group photos and the ones that we really upload onto YouTube, we love to take a group photo if that's cool with, if that's all right with all of you. So kindly open up your videos, and once again, we really invite you to our next episodes. So you can see this is our podcast in YouTube where we post the full episodes. There's Keepers Club International, the logo, Keepers also specifically in US, and Keepers Club International. So I'm gonna stop sharing the screen, and we love to maybe give a countdown from 3. We love to see everyone smile, and thank you so much for joining, everyone. Nice seeing you, by the way. Keep it big guy. So I'll give it a 3 count, and let's give a 3, 2, 1. How are you there also, Keeper Valeria? All right, how about one more? We'll do the Keeper's logo or Keeper's sign. It's like a K. All right, so let's do love to see everyone. So ready, 3, 2, and 1.